This narration is for educational purposes only. It is not buy or sell recommendations.
All right, good afternoon, fellow ES traders. Be narrating the ES4Z for December 2nd, 2024. I didn't do any streaming or recording last week over Thanksgiving. Just very low volatility, not a lot of volume. So today, let's look and start with a candlestick chart for what we had on last Friday, where we closed and where we're going to open. This is today, December 2nd. So we had an open higher in outside of range from where we closed on Friday. So we're looking at the naked volume point of control, which is here, 60.51. Our value areas from last Friday, which opening kind of inside the value area. So what I would be looking for is how price reacts to, and if it comes down to, this naked VPOC here, and if we break that, next level of interest would be this value area, and so on. Micro composite value area high for the last 4 days, and then of course down to here, this micro composite area. So looking at our statistics, 97% chance we'll touch or break initial balance high or low, and 95% chance of overnight high or low, 79% chance of overnight VPOC, 77% chance of overnight high, 65% chance of IBH, and 63% of overnight mid. So going in with those statistics, let's look and see. We have, so this is 8:30. I'm back in Central Standard Time. So that would be the market open. So we're looking for, there's our high of the ETH. Let's see. Previous high from Friday, RTH, previous value area high, which I don't know if that reset for today's candle, but let's see. That would be 60.59. Yeah, so that is from Friday. So we have our areas of interest, and that is the all-time high. So we don't have anything above. That's from today. That's from today, and that already set for today as well. So looking at the statistics, we actually have more below. So out of the gate, I'd be looking for a short, but like always, we'll just see at open who's in control. Once we have an idea of who's in control, buyers or sellers, then we can kind of look and see what targets we have in that direction. I mean, if we open and buyers take over, there's not a lot above. So for me personally, trading all-time high is difficult unless we get a drop into an area of interest, like, you know, this naked VPOC, the value area low from Friday, to see what happens if we get support at these levels to get a bounce. So those are the things that I'm looking at the market open. So 8:30 Central Standard Time, 9:30 Eastern for the market open. I have my book map set for VWAP, mid, and VPOC to recalibrate at market open. So then we can just trade the session volume profile for that day. So we have absorption of these buyers, exhaustion, sellers takeover. So these buyers are getting absorbed by the passive sellers. So we have our opening swing low. Go ahead and mark that. We get a bounce off that particular price where buyers take over. We have VPOC migration. And here, mark this as the opening swing high. So now we kind of have a range. And we'll see if we break out of that range or kind of bounce in between and have a two-sided trade, mean reversion of trading the outside in. So price would go away from the VPOC and then come back down to it, maybe cross back below it. If it'll cross back below it, drop down below it, then there's more areas to look at for potential support, VWAP or let's see. There's the high ETH, that's overnight high. So those are areas that have potential support that might give you an edge to go long for a mean reversion back to VPOC. So here you can see this resting liquidity got filled. So this was filled by the buyers. And then price goes down. So these sellers, that seller there got filled by all the buyers. Brought the price back down. And then it's tested again. So that seller showed up. Looks like he took some liquidity off, put it back on. And we don't know if it's the same seller, but it's just sellers in general. And I'm trying to think, I don't think I had. No, I'd opened my book map an hour later at a dentist appointment, so I didn't get to look at the icebergs. So this is loaded history from the cloud. But you can see the passive liquidity here for sellers and didn't get fully absorbed, but price goes back down. Still no entry for me. I don't see anything that gives me an edge to get risk on. Once we break actually this opening swing high, we break that. So now some of the stops from these longs get taken out. So usually a retest on that area up here, or then in this case it went to the mid or VPOC. But now we have a change in direction. Now something's happened to where we've lost buyers and sellers take over. So, obviously, if we're watching this in real time, we see a break in this area, the opening swing high. I'm sure a lot of buy stops get taken out, so those longs are underwater. They sell for a loss. And we come back for a retest. So potential because this broken trend, because you can look at this and say, oh, well, this looks the same. Why isn't it this a sell signal to go short, but this is? And the reason would be buyers bringing the price up, breaking through an area of resistance, retest, did not bounce for continuation, broke through, didn't even get back to this area, and now we're here. So short, stop above here somewhere. Not trade recommendation, but I mean, if you get a perfect entry on the 59s, you're only looking at a 3-point stop, 2.5-point stop. That's decent risk to reward. And let's see, we're a target. You could scale at 3 points down to the high of the ETH. Not trade recommendation. To get risk neutral, and then you're holding a runner for down to here or here. See what happens. We have epoch migration going down. So typically that means that price may continue to go down, saying that this is too high. Participants are saying this is too high. So we have epoch migration to go down, but this was too low. So another potential short here, not trade recommendation, but they have epoch migration come down and a test of it. And then failure of that test, so you can even go stop here just right above it at this variable high volume node, not trade recommendation. Not the best range, but enough to get to risk neutral. Break. So you can see where we had that opening swing low, and even here price came back down. We had buyers, passive buyers here for support, broke through, becomes resistance, break above. So kind of the same setup really as over here. It's not the best range, but enough to get risk neutral. Coming off that VPOC, not trade recommendation, but short scale runner, still holding, and stop taking out. So now that we've broken above this volume here, which is significant because we had the VPOC there. So resistance, 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 break above, support. Support here, potential long. Scale here will be resistance, not trade recommendation. But you can see, I mean, resistance, 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 break above. Now we're breaking above. This retest right here, that's a pretty solid entry. Not trade recommendation, but scale, hold a runner, stopped out with that runner. But it's a decent range, 4 points. It's definitely enough to get risk neutral. So opening swing high still, resistance, resistance. So here we break above, get rejected, and try again, break below. This retest here, potential short, not trade recommendation. See the sell eyes come in, and we break below, because even there to VPOG, risk neutral all day, 3 points. Looking at your range, and then target there, naked VPOG 7. That's 9 points. It's a good trade, not trade recommendation. All right, so then we bounce. Let's see, we had the close from Friday. Actually, that might be today's close. Look, but previous VPOG. It's the previous RTH from Friday's VPOG where we closed. But those are the areas you're looking for. Is there going to be support there? Well, we have a bounce, mean reversion, outside in. Trading the outside edges back to VPOG. Yeah, it's nice 5 point range. You get risk neutral. And if this was support, an area of interest, of potential support, which it is actually the naked VPOG. So you're looking at that. That's the first test. Second test from the naked VPOG, and we already bounced once. So will that buyer still be there for a bounce? 2-3 points below, stop. See what it does. Mean reversion back. We break above this resistance again. Support. But at this point, we're making all-time highs. So, me personally, I'm not shorting anything up here because you could go another 100 points. You don't know. Trying to short the top, not what I want to do. Not what I want to do. I mean, you can kind of look for a weakness and maybe play a short, but you can see we were range bound for almost 2 or 3 hours, just going sideways. 3 point range. There's nothing there. Now, once we break below, potential long here. Have a bounce off the VWAP mid, close to the VPOG. And I believe that's it. Yeah, 4 o'clock Eastern. All right, guys. Thanks for coming by. See you tomorrow.